For 20 years, after the assassins defeated the Templars in London, the city enjoyed a certain peace. Until the Autumn of Terror. In 1888, London is plunged into shadow and fear by a series of gruesome and unsolvable murders. The brothels of Whitechapel seem warm and safe by comparison to its streets, where prostitutes are being mutilated and left on grotesque display for the world to ogle. Jacob Fry hunts the elusive killer to bring an end to the terror of Jack the Ripper.
Get a move on, Mr. Finch. This is the story of a lifetime.
Mr. Weaversbrook, I know you have more of the Ripper's letters.
I told you to stay away from me.
Stop publishing his letters. You've turned an unknown miscreant into a legend, and that's exactly what he wants.
Jacob! Thank God I found you. It's the Ripper. He's done it again. Katie! Oh, he can't. No, he can't have. And Lizzie. Not both. Not in one night.
Nellie, remember what I said. Now go.
How many more assassins must die before you see the truth?
Only one more, Jack.
You should have believed, Jacob. Now, I will hunt you down.
I know you're there, Jack. The Master of Terror's afraid to show himself, is he?
I am your shadow, Jacob.
Alright, so here we are in the Jack the Ripper DLC. We're gonna chase down Jacob as Jack the Ripper. Pretty awesome. Sort of. I mean, I like Jacob, and I'd hate to have to kill him if we catch him, but
Last one of them, if that's the quickest way to you.
no, I'll do what needs to be done to keep the game going. So here we are, gonna be introduced to some new mechanics. Fear, which basically there's like 3 types of fear. You know, you got like not feared, and then anxious or something like that, I think, and then frightened. So and we'll learn more about those, and it's talking about brutal takedowns. It's also another new mechanic. You can hold the X button, perform these brutal takedowns, and that will induce fear into people. So that's kind of how those work in Tangent, and we'll show that off right here. Basically, you hold the X button to initiate it, then you want to tap the X button, and you'll get prompts here and there. You just want to follow the prompts and keep stabbing this guy as much as you can. Most of the time it's just the X button. Sometimes they'll throw a hit left on the stick or right on the stick sometimes, but not very often.
Run all you like, Jacob. I will catch you.
So yeah, this is pretty cool, being able to play as Jack the Ripper. Especially right off the bat. I mean, how many of you saw that coming?
I need only follow your scent. The scent of a wounded animal.
I always forget which way to go. Is it this way?
There's nowhere you can hide.
Oh, no. Nope. I can't even get him to run upward. He won't even run. He won't even run upward. We're stuck here. Jacob got away. Okay, we'll go back this way. So there's first mistake of the video. So that was kind of good, right? Alright, here we are, introduced with more of the fear system. We got the calm, anxious, and frightened. And basically, depending on like what they are, they'll do different things. If they're frightened, they won't fight at all. And then, If they're not frightened, they're calm, then they'll definitely fight. And if they're anxious, they're on the borderline of not wanting to fight, but they'll still fight you. And we also have some other ways to fear people. We have like Death Scream and Spikes, which we'll show off right here. Basically hit down on the D-pad, lets out Death Scream, immediately puts people in anxious. And then now we can use a Spike. And when you combine those two things, we now got everybody around us feared, and now they don't want to fight.
Stop! You want me, Jack? Come and kill me! This is not our way.
This is my key.
Alright, so we have been thrown into a boss fight with Jacob.
You cannot escape me.
Now we gotta track down Jacob. He's running from the fight. We were winning, so it only makes sense that he'd run. It's pretty cool, actually, following the ghosts that he leaves behind.
Scurry back to your hole, little mouse. Going somewhere, Jacob?
Jack, you're sick.
Don't you see the irony, brother?
Jack.
Only you know who the Ripper is, but you can't tell a living soul because it would destroy you and the assassins. No, 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 no!
Jack, we can fix you.
Fix me? I am the solution.
Miss Fry?
Inspector Aberline. Why exactly have you had me escorted here?
My men and I have been hunting the Ripper around the clock for months now, and we've nothing to show for it. There's nothing I can tell the public.
What's the Ripper to do with me? My brother has had me summoned here from India. Can't this wait?
As far as I know, you may be the last assassin in London.
What do you mean? Where's Jacob?
I wish I knew. Your brother is nowhere to be found, even as an elusive shadow is committing the most hideous crimes this city has ever seen.
And you believe this is no coincidence?
The killer is selective and dispassionate and has left not a single trace of his passage. I've seen such a talent for assassination and avoiding detection only once before, when I worked with the two of you. And that is why your brother summoned you before he disappeared.
You think Jacob is dead?
I dare not believe it. But if he is, you may be the only person who can stop the Ripper now. Follow me.
When are you gonna stop that monster?
I'll take you to the site where the Ripper first struck.
Incompetent!
The journalists always seem to get the word first. We get there, they've trampled the evidence, and next day's headlines are dripping with blood. The few hundred yards between Flower and Dean Street have become so dangerous that even my best constables are afraid to patrol Whitechapel at night. Let's take a carriage, shall we? I'd rather not get egg on my face again today.
I'll drive. What has become of this borough?
Whitechapel is a cesspool of crime, Miss Fry, where terror reigns supreme. Elsewhere, the rich get richer, but here, the poor are living on the living, fighting to survive each day. Reporters share a view of Whitechapel as a lair of savages, monsters, and werewolves who hold honest citizens in a state of terror.
The Ripper's terror.
Alright, so as you can see, we're now playing as Evie.
Easy, girl.
And we're gonna go to the last murder location. We're gonna do some CSI, crime scene investigation.
Nichols was murdered. I knew her as Polly. That's what her friends called her. But the woman who died here is not the woman I met a few times at the Frying Pan pub.
Then who was she?
I was hoping you could tell me. Go see for yourself.
This is where the Ripper committed his first murder. Was Miss Nichols' body identified?
Her husband hadn't seen her in 11 years. He barely glanced at the poor, mutilated woman before he had the gall to forgive her for what she'd done to him. The press reported widely that Miss Nichols' finger bore the mark of a ring. It was forcibly removed, and the same is true for his other victims.
Alright, so let's have a look around, see if we can deduce some stuff from this crime scene. So you can see top left, we got some clues to be investigating. So it looks like some victim's blood, stab wounds, and abdomen type stuff, blood stains. We also got a ghost of the mutilated body. This looks like some type of handprint.
What did you discover?
Give me a moment.
So it looks like she threw her ring. Or threw something. Yeah, her ring. I wonder if I spoiled it there. I actually didn't read the whole last thing. I think I spoiled it. It's okay. 1 second spoiler warning. So now we're going to try and recreate where she threw the ring. See if we can find it. And if our CSI work has paid off, there should be a ring here. Yep, assassin's ring. A ring that only sworn assassins wear. And I find this weird because I didn't know assassins had their own ring. I mean, I've seen the Templars with rings, but I've never seen an assassin with a ring. Is this like a new thing, a new trendy thing they're doing?
I found Miss Nichols' ring. An assassin's ring. She must have tossed it away during the struggle. A desperate act to protect the Brotherhood. You think they were targeted?
Yes. And the newspapers are accusing the police, me, of letting the first city of the world lapse into primeval savagery. I must take my leave, Miss Fry. I have other business in Whitechapel.
Good day, Inspector. Thank you for your discretion.
Alright, so as you can see now we're introduced to Aberline Associate activities. So this DLC did come with some new activities that I'm sure we'll probably see over the course of the story. I'm not entirely sure. I'm also not entirely sure if we don't see them that I'll show them off, because they are just side stuff. But you know, we might see a few here and there. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna promise anything. I'd like to say yes. I'm not gonna promise anything. So we do have bounty hunts that return, but I think they're a little bit different. They added some new ones, and the ones that they brought back are a little bit different. Like they have the Fight Club are back. The Fight Club is back. And in this Fight Club, you can fight with weapons, and it's to the death. So it's not just fists. And assumingly not to the death, I mean, when you play, if you've played the Fight Club in the previous game, or in the main game, you notice that some of those guys look like they're pretty dead. But, you know, it was just hand to hand, so who knows. And then we got a Carriage of Justice, which might be the worst activity in the game. I mean, a lot of these new activities they added are pretty good, but that one takes the cake as being one of the worst ones in my opinion. I don't like it at all. But hey, if you like it, that's fine. I'm not going to judge.
I'll need to tackle Jack's influence over the gangs in London. Inspector? The inquest mentions that Miss Nichols made quite a spectacle of her drunkenness on the night of her murder. Do you think Jacob may have put her up to it?
Bait, you mean? I don't know what to think anymore, Miss Fry. Jacob kept lodgings nearby, right in the heart of this cesspool. Be careful.
I will not fail you.
Alright, so let's reach Jacob's lodgings. We're gonna see if we can't find out what really happened to Jacob. So, it's not too far away. This also gives me a good opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about the DLC and run into that carriage. I didn't see that. Why would you park there? So, yeah, we do, a few things. We do have, like, more perks to be unlocking, which I'll probably show that off at some point. I'll hold off on it for now, because I don't think we really have anything to be unlocking right now. As you can see, we also have, you know, a much older Evie and a new outfit, kind of, I assume based off of, like, what a India assassin would look like.
Slowly.
So I think we need to be getting out here. And, we do still have, you know, fear takedowns and fear stuff as Evie, but Evie in this DLC is more non-lethal. I think you can kill people, but for the most part, as far as canon goes, it's assumed that she doesn't kill really anyone during this DLC, unless, you know, during a cutscene it straight up shows her stabbing someone or something like that. She does like to use non-lethal approaches for the most part. Because we don't have any weapons. I think we still do have the Assassin's Blade, but we do use, like, non-lethal attacks now as, like, our front basis of attack. But, yeah, that's all I can think about to talk about now. I guess we could say that, as you saw out there, we do still have a portion of the map unlocked. I will show that, I guess. It's not all of London, but we do have, like, I think Whitechapel in the city of London. So it's a pretty big little area, and there's a lot to be doing. They've added some pretty cool stuff you can be doing besides the main story missions. But anyway, let's go in here and check on Jacob's house. Alright, so now we gotta look for clues. This is kind of reminiscent of Unity's, like, murder mysteries. I don't remember what they were called. I want to say murder mysteries, but that might not be right. And those were like my favorites. These sections aren't quite as good as the murder mysteries from Unity, but you know, they're reminiscent at least. So looks like we got a broken mirror, smashed on the floor, perhaps you know, perhaps a mirror. That's what it says. Broken mirror at the top. Perhaps it's a mirror. I'm pretty sure it's a mirror. What else could it be? It didn't say broken glass.
More signs. What am I not seeing?
Oh, and then also it pops up. It says broken mirror. Very violent. It's a violent broken mirror. So let's see if we can't find anything in the wastebasket.
Grand work the last job was. I give the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work and I want to start again. You'll soon hear of me with my funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer bottle from the last job to write with. But it went thick like glue, and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Ah.
The newspapers printed this letter 3 days before Miss Stride and Miss Eddowes were murdered. It was signed, Jack the Ripper.
Looks like this is a letter from Jack the Ripper that the newspaper published, so maybe not the best idea on their part.
So much blood. I hope it's not yours, brother.
So this is some blood stains, lots of blood stains on the floor. There was a struggle here. Let's see what else we got in here. We got 3 of 7. There's quite a few clues around.
Intimidation. Much like those we learned to use with our Indian brothers.
So these are spikes and fear bombs, intimidation type weapons from where Jacob and Evie visited India. This is they visited India, I want to say post Syndicate.
There
So,
must be something more here.
because I'm pretty sure they've only been to like London and surrounding areas before Syndicate. Let's see what we got over here. Broken pot. Seems to have a struggle here, or seems there has been a struggle here. So up to 5. And I think some of the clues unlock kind of like in sequence, like you have to find like that first to get this picture.
Last time Henry, my brother, and I were together was in India. 15 years ago. When the photograph was taken, we stood facing a temple of Kali. And that's one of the boys Jacob brought to train with the Brotherhood. What did we call him? Jack the Lad. Reckless and roguish. Much like my brother.
So she says this is a photograph of you know, her, Jacob, and Henry, but, you know, obviously Jacob's probably on the left, Evie's probably on the right, and then in the middle you got, you know, I'm assuming that's supposed to be Henry, right? Doesn't look anything like Henry. Also, he seems taller than Jacob, and I want to say he's like smaller. He's smaller than Jacob in the game, or at least the same height. But, you know, and Evie looks way smaller. I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate. It could just be me, though. And then also you got the little kid there who's, you know, one of their students from India. So we got one more clue left.
What am I not seeing? Kali the Destroyer. I gave this to you on your last visit to India.
There's a woman who can help. Unfortunately, she'll remind you of our childhood neighbor. If the Ripper
Unfortunately? What is Jacob trying to say? We loved old Nellie. Could you be referring to an unfortunate woman? Nellie may be in the brothel nearest Jacob's lodgings. I'll start there.
So it looks like Jacob has left us a clue in the form of referring to old Nellie. Alright, so now we're going to be introduced to the main combatants of the game, like the primary antagonists. And also Evie fear tools, which are a little bit different, but for the most part the same as Jacob. I don't think she has the death scream, or anything like it. I don't think there's anything mapped to the bottom of the D-pad, which is where a death scream was. But, you know, being calm, anxious, and frightened are still there. Jack the Ripper and Evie use most of the same fear tools, but Evie's tools are non-lethal, like I said. For what reason, I'm not entirely sure. If I had to guess, it's because the gangs in this game are, it's actually the Rooks. So that's not really a spoiler, that's just something you kind of pick up on over the course of the game. But they're now in purple, and
This bomb will strike fear in their hearts.
we're just going to throw a bomb at them here. And this should put them into anxious. And then we run out here and we use a spike on them. And when you mix these two things, they go fear and then they run away and the fight's over. And then, as you can see, this dude's not dead like he would have been if that Jack the Ripper did it. Because Jack the Ripper, like, put the spike in the cop's heart.
And can lead me to the Ripper.
So, anyway, he's just feared.
Jacob's former pupil is the Ripper. Then he is our Ripper. I must catch him.
So, the fear toxins are kind of like, you know, I want to compare it to, like, the Scarecrow's fear toxins. It's very similar to that, if a little bit more fluorescent, because it is kind of like orange gas. It looks kind of cool. So another thing, like I was saying, the Rooks, I'm, you know, I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive this is not a spoiler. This is just something that it tells you at some point, and it's not really a big deal. The Rooks, basically when Jacob disappeared, look at this traffic jam. How do I get around this? Basically when Jacob disappeared, Jack the Ripper kind of took over on the Rooks. It was kind of like, you know, join or die. So, you know, the Rooks obviously joined, and now they're kind of working for the Ripper. And they also dropped the green in favor of purple, and they're the main antagonists. And that's why I think Evie's non-lethal in this game, because she doesn't want to kill her friends.
Have you seen Nellie today?
What do you want with Nellie? Who are you? If you're a friend, then you may already be too late.
Where is she?
On her way to see Lady O. In the company of the brutes paid to keep us in line. Hurry if you want to catch her.
Now come nicely, Nellie. Lady O's expected you.
Does this feel
Let me
like
go.
something Jack the Ripper would do?
I need to find Nellie before something bad happens to her.
Alright, so we just need to hop in a carriage here and follow the either the little circles or the little circles on the radar or the magnifying glasses on the HUD. Pick one, or just, you know, the destruction. And I don't think you have to go into, yeah, you don't have to go into Eagle Vision to look at the clues or anything,
There's the
so.
carriage. Nellie must be inside the building.
Alright, now we got our new objective. We
Nellie's
also,
in there somewhere. No doubt closely guarded and in mortal danger.
we also got our first sub-objectives, and also it popped up there on top right. It said we now have prostitutes to use as allies, sort of. That's kind of reminiscent of like the prostitutes from Assassin's Creed 2, if you want like a, you know, comparison. So we're just gonna go up here and we're gonna try and frighten these guys. So you know, we're basically gonna get into a fight with them, and I'm gonna try to. Yeah, brutal takedown works pretty well. So this is what Evie's brutal takedowns look like. For the most part, it's just mash X. She doesn't really get too many of the using the analog sticks, pushing in a certain direction prompts. She don't usually get too many of those. So there we go. That was the easy Fear 3. This dude's just gonna sit there scared on his anus, and we just need to get into the building now. See, we'll look around. Let's see. We might even fear some of these guys. You know, you get them over here, and then well, no, we're gonna fight these guys. But I'll spike one, and then you know we can throw a fear bomb, and then there you go. We mixed it together. We kind of did it backwards that time. First we threw a fear bomb, and you know last time we threw a fear bomb, and then we spiked them. This time spiked and fear bomb. Still works the same. You basically got to like combine different stuff. Like a brutal takedown is always going to fear nearby enemies, but if you combine two different tools, you can usually get people frightened. I don't know when it's ever happened to me that it didn't frighten everybody around. So like I was saying before, I got distracted. I just remembered old Nellie, like the unfortunate Nellie. She kind of referenced that. That was the clue Jacob left us. That's referring to one of Jacob's friends that you saw earlier in the cutscene. Nellie. So there was that clue. In case you didn't put that together. I didn't first time I went through this. I just kind of did what they told me to.
Shh, don't be afraid.
Jacob's sister. We can't talk here, please. He'll kill me. She'll see to it.
Who?
Lady Owers. Jacob said you must kill her to find him.
Smile and be polite, or I'll tell the Ripper where you sleep, my beauties. Dame Fry, take Nellie and see to it that woman does not follow us.
Where did she go? That must be the carriage I'm after.
Alright, so we gotta hijack this carriage. We gotta catch up to him and hijack him. Also, something you want to watch out for here is it's very easy to screw this up, because you might think you want to jump on there and hit the X button, but you want to jump on there and hit the B button. That's actually the hijack. It doesn't mean like hijack the carriage so much, it's just the driver. So I hit the B. I usually hit the X button by accident and then end up killing the guy, and it doesn't give you the sub objective for that. So let's get the gun out. Shoot these guys, wreck them, and if we stop here, we should be okay, I think. So we got to get out.
Lady Oas. Whoa! Nellie, I'm so sorry.
She used me as a decoy and fled to Owa's manor.
Hoping I'd cause your death, no doubt.
She knew you'd come, Miss Fry. Lady O is the Ripper's eyes and ears in London.
Kill her and Jack will be forced to show himself. Hey! I'll look in on you soon, Nellie, I promise. Lady Oas will be expecting me, and I would not want to disappoint her.
Alright, so there you go. That was the Unfortunates, Mission 3. So, a few things to talk about. I'll go ahead and rate this. I like that mission. It wasn't too bad. It's a pretty well drawn out mission. And I want to say Evie says something right here. Oh, yeah, we're going to get introduced to Nellie Associate Activities. Pretty cool.
Jack's terror over the prostitutes in London has to end.
Alright, so as you can see, we're kind of in a different spot here. I thought this would be a good time to explain something. Throughout this whole part, I've actually been using the progress tracker to go back and play the missions, and, you know, you didn't miss anything. It replays the whole mission, everything in between. You didn't miss a single thing, so you don't have to worry about that. But the reason we did that is because the first part we lost the footage. So I had to go back and redo it, and the only way to do that was with the progress tracker. But, you know, it turned out to be okay. Like I said, you didn't lose anything. We got everything, you know, in there still. You know, we even got the title screen. So, you know, if you get the title screen, you pretty much got everything. But, as you saw last mission, we rescued Nellie. We thought it was Lady O. I never picked up on that. I always thought we were going after Nellie. I thought we were going to rescue her, but I guess, you know, that went over my head or something, and we thought we were going after Lady O to stop her, because it's one of Jack the Ripper's lieutenants, like I said, after he took over the Rooks, you know. I think they might have a different name now, I'm not sure, but they might still be called the Rooks, like I said, I'm not sure. But Lady O is one of the lieutenants, and we're going to have to take her down. And as you can see, we got the skull over there. That's going to be our first assassination mission for this DLC. But I think I'm going to save that for next time. So I want to thank you guys for watching this part. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.